Imagine waking up one day with a quiet, unsettling clarity. The world is not governed by evil masterminds or grand conspiracies, but something far more ordinary and far more dangerous: stupidity. Not the loud, obvious kind that announces itself, not the caricature of ignorance that is easy to dismiss, but the subtle, confident, socially rewarded kind. The kind that fills offices, institutions, conversations, and screens. The kind that speaks with certainty about what it does not understand and rarely doubts itself. You notice it first in small moments. You explain something carefully. You choose your words with precision. You anticipate objections. You construct your argument step by step, like an architect laying bricks with intention. And yet the response you receive is not disagreement, it is distortion. Your point is reduced, twisted, or entirely replaced with something you never said. You pause. Did they misunderstand? Or did they never intend to understand? The more perceptive you are, the heavier this becomes. Intelligence is not merely the ability to calculate or recall facts. It is sensitivity to nuance. It is the capacity to see layers where others see surfaces. It is an awareness of contradiction, irony, complexity. And complexity is exhausting when surrounded by minds that crave simplicity. Why do foolish ideas spread faster than thoughtful ones? Why is confidence so often mistaken for competence? Why do the loud dominate the accurate? You begin to see a pattern. Those who know the least speak with the most conviction. Those who understand the most hesitate, qualify, reconsider. The intelligent person doubts, the foolish person declares, and declarations win. Slowly, isolation creeps in. Not because you think yourself superior, but because you feel unseen. Conversations begin to feel like performances. Debates feel like emotional wrestling matches rather than shared pursuits of truth. Facts become optional. Nuance becomes weakness. You start to wonder if intelligence is not a gift, but a burden. Imagine standing in a room where everyone insists the walls are blue. You can see clearly they are green. You attempt to explain lighting, perception, perhaps even psychology. They look at you with polite confusion or subtle irritation. The majority has spoken. The walls are blue. Eventually, you stop arguing, but inside, something hardens. Contempt begins to whisper. Frustration accumulates. You find yourself withdrawing, not because you cannot win arguments, but because winning changes nothing. Logic does not persuade those who are emotionally invested in being right. So what are you supposed to do? Fight endlessly? Retreat into silence? Pretend to agree just to survive? Or surrender to bitterness? Centuries ago, a philosopher known for his ruthless realism, Arthur Schopenhauer, looked at humanity without illusions. He did not flatter the masses. He did not romanticize reason. He observed that beneath our intellect lies something far more primal: the will. The will is blind striving. It wants, it clings, it desires. And the intellect, it often serves as its lawyer, crafting arguments to justify impulses that were never rational to begin with. This is why people defend ideas that harm them. This is why they double down when proven wrong. This is why evidence rarely defeats ego. Stupidity, then, is rarely about low intelligence. It is about attachment. It is about identity. It is about the psychological need to feel secure in one's worldview. Long before modern psychology, Schopenhauer understood what neuroscience now confirms. We are masters of rationalization. We do not think our way into beliefs, we feel our way into them, and then build intellectual scaffolding to defend them. To challenge someone's belief is to threaten their inner stability. This is why arguments become emotional so quickly. You believe you are debating facts, they feel you are attacking who they are, and so they resist, not with logic, but with defense. Society magnifies this tendency. Systems reward speed over depth. Outrage spreads faster than analysis. Certainty attracts attention. Admitting doubt feels like weakness. The thoughtful person hesitates. The impulsive one dominates. You begin to see cognitive biases everywhere. Confirmation bias, people searching only for what supports them. The Dunning-Kruger effect, the least competent overestimating themselves. Groupthink, where belonging overrides truth. The human brain prefers shortcuts. Deep thinking consumes energy. Simple narratives conserve it. So most people choose simplicity, not because they are incapable, but because it is comfortable. Meanwhile, you pay the price. You try harder, you refine your explanations, you gather more evidence, but gradually fatigue sets in. You realize clarity does not guarantee comprehension, precision does not guarantee persuasion. You withdraw. And withdrawal has consequences. Silence protects your peace, but it isolates you. Frustration tempts you towards arrogance. Cynicism begins to feel sophisticated. You look at the world and think it's hopeless. But cynicism is a trap. When you allow stupidity to anger you constantly, you surrender control of your emotional state to those you consider foolish. You become reactive. You mirror what you despise. Your patience thins, your tone sharpens, your empathy shrinks, and without noticing, you are no longer responding with intelligence, you are responding with wounded pride. So, what is the alternative? The first rebellion is internal. Stop expecting the world to prioritize truth. Once you accept that many people are driven more by emotional comfort than intellectual rigor, your frustration decreases. You no longer demand depth where there is none. You choose your engagements carefully. Schopenhauer valued solitude, not as escapism, but as protection for independent thought. Solitude is not loneliness, it is clarity. It is the space where your mind is not constantly reacting. But isolation alone is insufficient. The deeper shift is detaching your ego from being right. If you are correct, why not prove it? Because proving it often changes nothing and costs everything. Ask yourself, is this person capable of good faith dialogue? If not, disengage calmly. You do not need to win every argument. You need to guard your mental energy. Replace contempt with curiosity. What fear lies beneath this certainty? What insecurity fuels this arrogance? Often foolishness is armor. Beneath it is fragility. Understanding this does not mean tolerating harm. It means seeing clearly without becoming emotionally entangled. Cultivate disciplined humility. Intelligence does not make you immune to bias. You too rationalize. You too have blind spots. The difference is awareness. Channel your clarity into creation rather than correction. Build something. Write, teach, innovate, contribute. Influence through substance rather than endless confrontation. The rebellion is quiet. Selective engagement. Strategic silence. Emotional sovereignty. And then comes the final realization. Stupidity is not an external enemy. It is a universal human tendency. The same psychological forces you observe in others exist within you, just in different proportions. People cling to simple narratives because existence is overwhelming. The world is uncertain, fragile, complex. Certainty feels safe. Nuance feels threatening. Recognizing this dissolves some of your anger.
It replaces superiority with sobriety. Your task is not to eradicate stupidity. That is impossible. Your task is to remain steady in its presence. Remain thoughtful in a culture of reaction. Remain curious in a climate of certainty. Remain calm in a sea of loudness. Most importantly, remain kind without becoming naive. Bitterness is the final trap. It feels justified, it feels intelligent, but it corrodes perception and narrows empathy. It blinds you in new ways. True intelligence is not about defeating foolish people. It is about mastering your response to them. Imagine again that room where everyone insists the walls are blue. This time, you see the green clearly. You do not argue endlessly. You do not doubt yourself. You do not burn with contempt. You simply